Do you practice a lot but not improving? That's gonna change forever today. Hi, I'm Grandmaster Shahin Lorfari. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm gonna talk about my personal brand new daily 2-hour practice routine that if you do exactly as I'm telling you, the level of your rating will grow instantly. Now, if you are a player like 1400 and you want to jump to 1900 to 2000, this program is exactly designed for you. So be with me and let's go to the first step of this practice. So this part is called tactical warm-up and we are gonna get our mind ready for the next and more complicated part. The details is we're gonna go to some online platform, like for example Puzzle Rush in chess.com or Puzzle Storm on Leeches. And there are some points. The first point is you're gonna use the time section. Like for example, I recommend you use the 3 minute section. Or in Leeches, you're gonna do the Puzzle Storm, which includes 3 minutes. And then you are gonna solve the series of tactics and calculation as fast as you can. Click on the play button, which you may know, and the thing is, it's not about the speed, it's about being correct, and that's your first priority. So I'm gonna solve some just for the example. Like for example, take c8. You see, it's not that hard. All you're gonna do is find maybe 1 to 2 moves at the beginning. It gets harder if you solve some. And as you can see here, the ratings of those training will increase. Like for example, right now we solve 400 puzzles, is 475. Then if you solve some, it will be better and better and better. And the thing is, do not compare yourself with your friends or any other. It doesn't matter if you solve 10 or 20 or 30. For example, my personal record when I click on the quick is 48. But it's not important. What is important is you do it every day. You do it for 15 minutes on your daily routine. Like for example, if you use the 3 minute section, it will be 5 of those. And then compare yourself only and only with yourself. And the purpose is you do it every day a little bit better. Like for example, if you do it today and the record was 10, the tomorrow's purpose is 11, then 12 and 13 and etc. And after a while, like for example a month or two, you will see that during the real game you will look at the tactics and calculations much faster and you will not fall in time pressure, or at least you will fall less. That's the first part. Now we will warm up and we can continue to the second part. So the second part is deep calculation and strategical concepts. Now we are warm ups and we are ready for some complicated and most challenging stuff. Now I recommend you start with this book, Chess Tactics for Advanced Players, and the other is Averbach, by the way. It includes more than 300 pages that you can start. So now it includes from the basic concepts. Now, for example, if I go to the 10th page, it's introduction, and it starts with mating with just one queen, and it goes on and goes on. For example, the 50 page is something harder, and the benefit of this book is it explains a lot. Now, if you don't have a mentor or any kind of stuff, you can go and look at the comments between every position and you can learn a lot from them. Now, it starts the level from 0 rating to under 2000. It's like, for example, let's go again to the 100 page. It includes even the basics of Endgame, like, for example, this kind of position, which is the famous position, and etc. etc. It includes, let's go to 150 pages, even harder positions, as you can see. It includes some exercises also, and then the answer will be after that. For example, white to play, you need to find an idea to grab the pieces, and as you can see, the solutions are right here. We can go to this page of 200. It's even harder. One rook against a pawn. You will learn a lot, and what I recommend you is start this book and use it 30 minutes per day. Now, in those 30 minutes, it depends on you. You can solve 5 pages, you can solve 10 pages, you can get better and solve more pages, read more pages after a week or after a month. But the thing is, you will read 30 minutes. You will read a subject on that minutes, if that's possible for you. And that's the first book that you can do. It will get you for many time, maybe like a month or two. But once you finish this book, let me show you maybe the last pages of the books. Like you see, the last part actually is some real games from the beginning until the end, and some classics ones that all the other subjects from the first pages will be summarized. That's great stuff. I recommend you. That's actually the old book that I read myself when I was younger, but you can start with this on the second part. Let's go to the second book that I recommend you. And the second book is Chess Combination by the publisher Chess Informant. So that is a famous book, which is, by the way, also the old one. It includes more than 500 pages and a lot of puzzles. So that will be your practice book. You can start from the first one all the way to the end. So this book has some sections. First of all, it has 3 sections: one, two, three. That's the basic section for maybe unrated players. Then it will go from A, B, C, D, all the way to I, and each level will be different. First will be easy, the first one, the second one, third one, but after 500, after 800, that will be near to 2000 rating. So you look at the book, and I recommend you sit on the board, not just with the book. You set all the pieces over the board in front of you, because you will play over the board eventually. So your mind and your eye will be ready for the real board. And there are some sections is, for example, the name of the players, as you can see. And if you look at here, if it's 3 points after the first move, for example, one with 3 decimal points, is black to move. And if it's only 1 point, 1 point, it's white to move. So usually the result also is on the end, and the conclusion you should make is on the end of the each position. Like for example, if it's minus then plus, it's black to move and black will win. But it's first plus then minus, is white to move and white should win. Some of those in the next one would be draw, but also you should draw from each side. So it's your practice routine. I recommend you to first of all start with the Averbach book, Tactics for Advanced Players, because it has some explanation. But if you want to do something extra, that one is also what I recommend you. And you can do it also for 30 minutes. So the first part was 15 minutes. The second part, which was complicated problems, would be 1 hour totally. So in this second part, you use 2 books that I showed you, and each book was 2 lines. You could do them for like 2-3 months at least. And let's go to the third part of our practice routine. So this section is opening training, and as you know, it is really important these days on the modern chess to study openings, because if you cannot get through opening healthy, and better than that, if you do not prepare on the opening for your opening, middle game and end game may not be pleasant for you. So I recommend you to study opening as well. And how you can do that? There are many ways. The first way is you get some opening course from many websites that you may know, or from anyone that you want, and study that. The second way is you go to YouTube contents, you search for the opening that you like, see some videos and learn it. The third way is use a mentor, and by the way, that's the best way I recommend you, because that would be your personal way. Use a mentor, use a coach, they will teach you whatever openings you need to know, and that's the best. And if you do not want to do any of those, or if you do them but you want to do extra, I recommend you on my chess routine to go and download ChessBase. That's a software that is pretty useful. And look at this board. You can search any openings that you like. For example, In this part, I'm searching for the Ruy Lopez and after knight a5 Norwegian variation, which is actually an interesting variation. And you can see all the inputs are available. Like for example, here there are more than 2,399 games, and you can see which game has been played more. Use the games many super grandmasters and grandmasters has played this, and just look at some games, look at some moves, and if you see 50 to 100 moves and you can get ahead and analyze them even with the engines if you know, but just with looking the game the level of your openings will increase. Just see and look for some common plans, like for example in this variation the main plan for black is to change the knight with the bishop and get the two bishop advantage. But there are some problems because black has less development. There will be some problems. You need to know about them, especially about the checks and captures. So in this position, the first thing that you need to know is, for example, knight takes e5. What happens after that? Look at some games, for example, we search and see some grandmasters played a variation. Let's say, for example, this game. Take, queen g5, threatening the knight and threatening and taking actually the pawn. So you look at the game, you can also see it until the end to get familiar with the scenarios that can happen during the opening. And if you do this practice for 15 minutes per day, for example, each day one variation or each 2 to 3 days one variation, and actually you can save the analysis and the studies that you do in ChessBase. Also, there are online platforms that you can do the same, no different. But this is the essential part of your training, opening training. And let me tell you again, the best way for this part is mentor because they know about all the plan. They have the experience that you need to know. But that's essential. Let's move to the fourth part of our daily training routine. So this part is called endgame training. As you know, endgames are also pretty important because if you make a mistake on the endgame, that's maybe your last mistake. And I recommend you to put the endgame at the last of your training. Why? Because for many players, especially at the young ages, endgames may be boring, but believe me, they are also important when we should do some practice and at least 15 minutes per day. So, for example, I recommend Dvorsky Endgame Manual book. That is the perfect, amazing book for the endgame, which includes anything you need to know about the theoretical endgame. Now, it starts, as you can see, from some simple positions, from like a pawn and king versus the king, pawn and game, and it goes all the way to harder endgames. For example, knight endgame, rook endgame, rook versus pawn, rook versus rooks, which is maybe the most common endgame, rook ones, and queen endgame, and at the end, general endgame. Even some endgames are, mixed of people. The idea Zugzwang sacrifices everything you need to know about the end games are on this book. You can start with 15 minutes per day, and you can actually increase it after a while. You can may increase the daily routine for more than 2 hours, by the way. But 15 minutes would be enough for the first month of your training. And in 15 minutes, you can study one or two example. If the first one are not that hard for you or easy for you, you can jump ahead, and that you may know the level of your end game. You can jump, for example, to the 50 pages or to 100 pages, but start from somewhere. Try to study for at least 15 minutes, one, two, three problems each day, and it may take a long time. It may take a year or 2 year, but after that time you will be master of endgame, and the level of your endgame after reading this book will not be under 2000. I can guarantee that, and that's how you can study endgame. That's the fourth one. Let's go to the fifth and the last part, and the final part is play training games and analyze them. So you can do the last 30 minutes of your training after you practiced opening, end game, calculation, strategy, everything that I teach you. You can go to some online platform or you can play over the board with your friends. Now, for this part, I recommend you to not play bullets just for educational purpose and not play without time increasement. Always play Fisher. And the best timeline is like, for example, 10 minutes with 5 seconds Fisher, or if you want to do faster, 5 minutes with 3 seconds Fisher each move. And that's the best that you can do. You can play, and first of all, play the same openings that you want to play over the board. So we want to have a training about that and play the same style. And I understand that's online, but try to be serious. Do not play just for addiction. Do not play just for fun. And do not play more than 30 minutes on the day. So it will be like 3, 4 to 5 games every day and analyze them. You can go to, for example, game review section, look at the board and analyze the best or the worst move that you have done. Now, this one is one of the recent game that I have played, and I actually like this Rook takes h2, which is the brilliant idea. And I hope you do the same kind of idea even on the time pressure. So if you do that, that will complete all of your training, and that's how you can do your daily training routine for 2 hours. So to summarize, our program include 5 training. The first one was tactical warm up, which we have done for 15 minutes every day. The second one, which maybe was the most challenging and important one, was going to the deep strategical and calculation concept, which include 2 books and each book 30 minutes, which would be 1 hour per day. The third one was opening training, which you could do in many ways that I explained you for at least 15 minutes per day. The fourth one was Endgame training, the same 15 minutes, and I really recommend the Voresky book, which by the way, in my opinion, is the best one. And the last one was playing training games and analyzing, which includes 30 minutes. So that will be your 2 hour daily routine. And by the way, the last point is I recommend you to do more, and I recommend you to at least work for 4 hours per day. I understand that may be hard for you. You're at the beginning of your chess journey and you cannot do it 4 hours straight, but increase the time of your training every day or every week. So after a while, you can get to 4 hours or even more. And for the 4 hours, do the same ticks but double each time. Like for example, I know that to understand the opening and end game better and faster, 15 minutes per day is not that enough, and you can do 30 minutes. That's the double of effect, and that's better. But let's start slow, let's start the right way, not wasting our hours, our 2 hours with just playing or just doing something funny, and be serious about our training. I can guarantee you, if you do the same daily routine for a time period, like for 6 months to 1 year, the level of your rating will, I hope, get better. So now, if you like this daily training routine, subscribe the channel, turn on the notification, and I try to teach you anything you need to know about chess on daily routines.